What is the gateway drug? Guys, it's just us in here. You could say it. Weed, marijuana. Now I'm hearing it. Thank you. All right, look. Can I let you in on a little secret? The gateway drug is the first one that you try. For some people, it's weed. For somebody else, it's a prescription pill. If there's anybody in here, or maybe you have a friend that's already drinking and vaping, guess what? That's your gateway drug. But I don't really believe in gateway drugs. What I do believe in, though, is gateway behavior, also known as progressive behavior, because it's progressive in two ways. It's going to be progressive in that you need more of what you need to try to achieve what it is you need to achieve. So somebody in here, somebody you know, probably started vaping 6 to 9 months ago because somebody said that, here, this is going to help with your anxiety. But after a few months of vaping, you realize that just vaping wasn't really helping with the anxiety anymore. So now you vape and you drink. And after a couple months of vaping and drinking, you're realizing that that's not cutting it anymore either. So now you vape and you drink and you take a pill. I'm sure you see where I'm going with this. Now, I said it's progressive in two ways though. And the other way that it's going to be progressive in that you're willing to do more to get what it is that you need to get. Now, what do I mean by that? For anybody in here, somebody that you know that might already be vaping, I can guarantee you with almost 100% accuracy the very first time you or your friend vaped, it wasn't even yours. It probably came from a friend. Yeah, and then you realize that your friend didn't want to give it to you anymore, so then you started buying it yourself. And then you realize how expensive it got, so you started to sell things that you actually care about to buy another one. Or maybe you went into your mom's purse and took a 20. You know, I gotta tell you, my favorite part of any time I do a workshop or an assembly is when I'm done and I leave that 15 minutes at the end for a little bit of question and answer. Because I gotta tell you, you guys ask really good questions. A lot of times the questions are thoughtful and insightful and inquisitive. Like somebody will raise their hand and say, I have a friend that's struggling with their mental health. How can I help them? That is a great question. And every once in a while, you guys ask me a question where it's just like, ugh. Like, Mr. Anthony, what's the hardest drug you've ever done and how high did you get? I'm like, all right, the answer might be entertaining, but I always respond with, why do you want to know? And a couple months ago, I was in Fairfax, Virginia, and a young lady raised her hand. She had a question, so I walked over to her. And the question that she asked was, how many times have you been arrested and what were they for? And my first thought was, why do you want to know? But I've always been told that we're not responsible for our first thought, but we are responsible for our first action. My first action was not to say, why do you want to know? My first action was to think, why would she want to know that? While I'm telling you this, I want you to think about what part of my story that this applies to. When I was 12 years old, I moved from Roselle, New Jersey to Union, New Jersey. And in an effort to impress some knuckleheads in the neighborhood, we went down to what I thought was an abandoned building, took a bunch of rocks, started throwing them at the windows, and we got arrested for destruction of property. A couple years later, trying to impress the same goofballs in the neighborhood, we were taking some M80s and blockbusters, which are like little .46 of dynamite, and lighting them off and throwing them at cars. And we got arrested for that. When I was 14 and a freshman in high school, I got arrested for selling a nickel bag of weed in the lunchroom. When I was about 20, I got arrested for possession of cocaine. When I was about 26, I got arrested for prescription fraud. And the very last time in 2015, I got arrested for going into a friend's house and taking her OxyContin because unfortunately my addiction took me a place that I never wanted to go. Y'all see a pattern there? Because if you would have came to me when I was 12 years old and said, young man, if you keep breaking these windows, eventually later on you're gonna get arrested for breaking and entering. I would have laughed in your face, dude. There's no way, not me. I just busted up a couple windows. But guess what? It wasn't just one broken window. It wasn't just one nickel bag of weed. It's not just one vape. It's not just one pill. You didn't just skip school one time, and it wasn't just one lie to your parents. It is gateway and progressive behavior.